Welcome back to Board Game Breakdown. I'm Christopher Solomon. In this burst video, we'll be diving into Expeditions, the sequel to the ever-popular game Scythe. If you'd prefer a longer video where I get into the details of setup and gameplay, please use this link here to see our standard video. If not, let's get 4 minutes on the timer and get started. Stonemaier Games styles Expedition as a competitive, card-driven, engine-building game of exploration. Suffice it to say, this is not Scythe, but a wholly new game that plays differently and just happens to take place in the world built by Scythe and its trio of expansions. Much of the setup revolves around placing the 3 types of location tiles in a funnel shape based on the diagram printed on the base camp tile. The south locations will all be face up, while the central and north locations start face down, each with an accompanying map token. Following the diagram, the layout should leave 5 empty spaces where players will place 5 face-up cards. These cards are dealt from the main deck, made up of item cards, meteorite cards, and quest cards. Each player will need one of the 5 mech mats and the matching mech miniature, which they can then snap into the colored base of their choosing. Lastly, players will want to grab the action and glory tokens of the matching color, as well as 1 power token and 1 guile token to be placed on the mech mat to start the game. In each turn, a player will typically get to do 2 actions, though in the first round or after a refresh action is taken, players can do all 3 actions. These actions can be done in any order the player chooses, but the player can never do the same 2 actions 2 turns in a row, as the action cube must be moved to a new spot each turn. Let's take a quick look at how the actions work. Move allows the player to move their mech 1 to 3 hexes away from their current position. Players will use this action to uncover and flip over new location tiles, but have to make sure to not end their turn on a location already containing another mech. Anytime a new location is flipped, players draw corruption tokens from the corruption bag to place on the location and block one of the exposed benefits. The play action allows players to take cards from their hand, otherwise known as the left side of their player mat, and move them to the active row on the right side. Playing cards typically enables players to gain power or guile, and workers can even be placed on the card to trigger extra abilities. 2 of these abilities, Solve and Vanquish, become very important throughout the game, as solving allows players to complete quest cards, and Vanquish enables players to destroy the corruption tokens that show up on newly unveiled locations. Lastly, the Gather action gives the players the exposed benefit on the location tile that their mech inhabits. There are a lot of benefits across the location tiles, but 3 of them stand out and should be touched on in more detail. One is the Upgrade icon, enabling players to take any item card and slot them on the right side of their board, effectively upgrading their mech with a game-long ability. Second is the Meld icon, which, much like the Upgrade icon, allows players to slide their meteorite cards underneath the bottom border of their mat to gain bonus coins for certain criteria. The last important icon is the Star icon, otherwise known as the Boast benefit. Players will want to use their Gather action here in order to place their glory tokens out on the base camp board as they meet certain goals. Some of these goals include solving 4 quests, melding 4 meteorites, or vanquishing 7 corruption tokens. Outside of these 3 standard actions, players can also take the refresh action to move all their workers back onto their player mat and shift all their cards from the right side active row back to their hand on the left side. This enables the player to then take all 3 actions again on the next turn. Once a player's 4th glory token is placed, the last round is triggered, and then victory points are counted up to see who the winner is. Expeditions is a wonderful experience that firmly stands on its own, while nodding towards the world of Scythe. The production is great, and the design melds a lot of game mechanics into a cohesive and fun package. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe and check out our website at boardgamebreakdown.com.